everyone, I'm Matt Riley. I head up brand at Over. My session is going to be about some simple tools, tricks and tips to build an authentic brand story so that you can stand out in an increasingly noisy digital world. Throughout my career, I've been fortunate enough to work with a few of the world's most valuable brands, the really big ones, but what's always made me the most excited is seeing brands develop from the ground up by really passionate, authentic individuals. And at Over, we believe absolutely everyone has the potential to be creative. They just need the right tools, a nudge of inspiration, and a bit of confidence. So today, we want to give you all of those things. So we've collated all the knowledge we have at Over and from our users, and today is all about giving you a quick start guide to finding your brand's authentic voice and helping you get there. So we're going to be tackling a few big ticket items. The first is how to stand out in a big, noisy digital world. What are you up against? What's your advantage? Really importantly, how to find your brand's unique, authentic story. We're going to talk a little bit about distinctiveness, which is all about standing out and staying authentic. And then a few quick tips on how to hold all of that together. So before we get started, take a deep breath, relax, sounds overwhelming, but we've got you. Over's a full service design application, gives you the power to inspire the world, build a business or grow your brand, all in the palm of your hand. So let's start with a big scary truth. Right now, the battle for your attention is fiercer than ever before. Think about it like this. Every single time you open anything that's digital, connected digital world, someone's collecting your data, figuring out how to optimize their tactics to message you. Right? It's harder to hide from this information. It's harder for you to stand out. But here's the good part. Originality, it's an advantage. Always has been, always will be. But now more than ever before, originality is actually an economic advantage for you when you're creating content, developing your brand. What started to happen is people are relying on machines, algorithms to create their content, curate like feeds. Everyone sees the same stuff. It's not that exciting. So now more than ever, if you can stand out, you're going to win. So let's give you some simple tools to find your authentic story so you can start standing out. So here's a simple tool that you can use to find your authentic brand story. It's got its roots in a Harvard Business Review article, and it's called The 4 Truths. I'll talk you through it quickly, and I'll give you a real-life example of a brand that we really love to get you started. So first thing to keep in mind, what are we trying to do is develop an authentic storyline for your brand. When it's done properly, it sums up in a simple statement what your brand point of view is in the world and the direction that you're going in. It's got 4 key building blocks. So the first building block is your truth. What makes your product unique, your service or company characteristic that really kind of stands out and gives your story its roots. Think about it as your origin story meets the thing that makes you really special. The next foundation is the audience truth. What's the truth about your audience? What's a desire or a need that you can satisfy? And this isn't about what you want to tell them, it's what they really need from you. Next, truth of the moment. What's a big, important thing that's happening in culture that you can either push against, fuel, be a part of? And this is really about kind of like tapping into the zeitgeist of what's happening out there. And then finally, what's the truth of your mission? Beyond profit, beyond kind of, just making money, why are you doing what you're doing? Right, so here's an example, a practical example of a new brand that we really love. It's actually one of our ex-colleagues at Over who turned a side hustle into a full-time job. So her brand is called Best. It's a beautiful new jewelry brand that's really about kind of a positive idea on beauty. So Rebecca's truth, the founder, was that initially she didn't really kind of fit in growing up. She dressed a bit differently, she didn't kind of hang out in all the cool crowds, and then she started to realize and started to take power from standing out instead of fitting in, and she really decided to embrace how good it felt to be different from everyone else. She took this as her truth, and then she started looking at like the world around her, and she said, well, there's an audience out there of so many women that are made to feel self-conscious because they're trying to fit into trends, okay? And then why does it happen? Well, we live in a moment where we're validated by consensus. People are looking to others instead of themselves for validation. Think about all those likes you wake up looking for. And then finally, the mission. Rebecca looked out into the world and she said, I'd love to see a place where everything you're born with is all you need to feel amazing. Okay? And that is the world that she wants to create with her brand. And all of this comes together in Best strategic storyline, which is send the world best regards by being your best self. It's a simple, confident statement that positions a jewelry brand as a accessory to your own inner confidence. So now you've got a great foundation for a compelling and authentic brand story. But how do you make your brand visually arresting, beautiful, consistent, and recognizable? This is all about distinctiveness. Okay? You want your brand to start to build like muscle memory in people's heads. It's a step and repeat, like omnipresent, but most importantly, the standout elements that make your brand instantly recognizable. So let's talk about building those for you. So I'm oversimplifying things here a bit, because your distinctive assets as well as your tone of voice, they all work in this wonderful combination to bring your brand to life, and that's where your creativity really comes in. But for now, if you're getting started, focus on 3 things. Well, that's 3. First of all, color. Fun fact, 90% of product judgments are based on color alone. Colors help you communicate your tone, your accessibility, and maybe even things like exclusivity, how niche or mass you are. So you can start out by thinking about what kind of feeling you want to invoke or convey. Warm colors convey action, energy, and brightness, whereas cool colors are linked to calm, peace, serenity. Certain colors are associated with power, luxury, and strength, and others with youth and creativity. So the good news is we've got tons of amazing content for you to deep dive into, all about color theory on the Over blog, and really simple tools in the app to help you build your own custom color palette with things like an easy-to-use color picker. Right, the next big thing is your font. And this is a design decision that's going to help you express your tone of voice. Certain groupings of fonts come baked in with cultural meaning and expectations, based on their historical use or what's happening right now in contemporary culture. But here's a quick cheat. Serif fonts tend to represent tradition, respectability, and even discernment. Sans serif fonts signal modernity, objectivity, and often innovation. We see them being used in a lot of kind of technology companies at the moment. Modern fonts are progressive, strong, stylish, and display fonts are your friendly, expressive, and amusing. And really, it's about taking these into account when you're picking your font to say, like, what signals are these sending in terms of how is my brand communicating? In the Over app, you'll find hundreds of fonts to choose from, and you can import your own custom fonts to get that extra special touch. Okay, so we have a great story, and we've worked out a set of beautiful, distinctive assets to match. But now, how you choose to bring those to life, it's up to you. But I want to give you a simple checklist to keep building a clear idea of what your brand stands for. So the first thing is, and the most important advice I'd give you, is to be consistent and authentic. Brands aren't built overnight, they don't just like appear. They're the sum of all the cumulative experiences and encounters people have with them. So every little thing you do builds that muscle memory of what your brand's about and what it stands for. The second is make your point of view clear. This is critical, particularly for brands that rely heavily on kind of a content strategy. I'll give you an example. If you are in the beauty category, self-care could mean something like physical improvement, or it could be about finding inner peace and confidence. 2 very different interpretations on a theme, but your point of view is going to dictate how that comes to life. And then finally, don't let your brand be the guy that kind of walks into a room and just talks about himself and pays no attention to those around him or shows genuine interest. You want your brand to kind of really care deeply about your users, your customers, your fans' needs. And what that means is not rushing out there and saying, look what I can do, look what we can do for you, and talking all about your features, but really always thinking about why does this matter to people and how do you deliver the benefits in a way that like makes their life better. So in short, find your story, let that be a guide for your point of view, and then help others achieve happiness in that space where you're really trying to impact the world. So that's a wrap. Hopefully that's a few good, easy tools for you to use and some quick pointers to get you up and running with an authentic brand story.